This is bizarre. Would we ever do this?
People are curious by nature, and fast food chains know this. But sometimes things go a bit too far. Here are 10 bizarre fast food items that were discontinued. Hula Burger, McDonald's.
Really? Pineapple?
Yeah.
Back in the 1960s, then president of McDonald's, Ray Kroc, was determined to find a meat-free alternative to hamburgers that Christian Americans could eat while they were fasting during the 40 days of Lent. He and the owner of a Cincinnati McDonald's franchise, Lou Groen, each came up with an idea. Groen came up with the Filet-O-Fish, and Ray Kroc came up with the Hula Burger. As we all know, the Filet-O-Fish is a fried fish patty with tartar sauce and American cheese on a regular bun.
Good.
The Hula Burger, on the other hand, was a grilled slice of pineapple with a piece of cheese between a bun. Why was it called the Hula Burger, you ask? The hula is a famous Hawaiian dance, and Hawaii is also renowned for pineapples. Ray Kroc thought the idea of the Filet-O-Fish was disgusting and was convinced that cooking fish would stink up the restaurants and repel customers. He was sure that his Hula Burger would be a big success. Needless to say, he was wrong. The Filet-O-Fish was an instant success, and the Hula Burger was relegated to the trash can of history. Buffalo Latte, Tim Hortons.
Small latte for you.
Thank you.
Sometimes sweet, savory combinations are heavenly, so putting them together can be incredibly satisfying to the taste buds and brain. Some of the best examples are chicken and waffles, pretzels and chocolate, or bacon and maple syrup. But that doesn't mean you can just put anything sweet with anything salty. Some combinations just don't work at all. Back in 2007, Tim Hortons came up with the Buffalo Latte. Unlike how it might sound, the Buffalo Latte is not a regular latte made with buffalo milk. It's a regular latte with buffalo sauce. And what is buffalo sauce again? Buffalo sauce consists typically of hot barbecue sauce and is often paired quite successfully with chicken wings. Buffalo wings? Good, but a chicken-inspired sauce on a frothy latte? How did Tim Hortons come up with that idea?
I need to know that.
Tim Hortons administration noticed that both buffalo wings and Tim Hortons were created in 1964. Somehow, this meaningless coincidence compelled them to combine Tim Hortons coffee with buffalo sauce. It's hard to understand how they thought that this made sense. We know that the Buffalo Latte was only released on a trial basis in Buffalo, New York, to go nationwide only if it became a success. It was not, and the Buffalo Latte was erased from the menu. 100 by 100 burger. In-N-Out.
How about lunch at the In-N-Out Burger?
It's an open secret that In-N-Out offers customizable burgers to its customers. One of the most popular customizable burgers is the multiple burger patty and cheese within a single bun order. So this means you can have several patties and cheese slices within a single bun. It used to be that there was no limit to the number of patties and cheese you could order. That is, until some drunken dude stumbled into his local In-N-Out with his friends and ordered a burger with 100 beef patties and 100 cheese slices in one bun.
That's crazy. We can't do that.
Of course, this crazy order was photographed and became a viral sensation online. But ultimately, In-N-Out faced some criticism over their actions and was pressured to put their foot down. After this incident, In-N-Out set a limit of 4 beef patties and 4 cheese slices per hamburger. Pizzabon, Cinnabon.
Tell me all about it over Cinnabon.
What do you get if you mix a fresh Cinnabon cinnamon roll with a pizza? You get a strange creature called the Pizzabon, of course. It may not sound like it, but the Pizzabon was a real menu item invented by Cinnabon back in 2012. The name already had people scratching their heads, which usually isn't a good start. But sometimes words don't matter when something tastes great. So how did the Pizzabon taste? The Pizzabon tasted like any other pizza, but on cinnamon roll dough. So no surprise in that department.
I'm not surprised.
taste.
But is that good or bad? Most reviewers agreed that the Pizzabon was flavorful enough. On the other hand, if you're at the local mall with a variety of established pizza outlets to choose from, like Sbarro, Domino's, or Little Caesars, why the heck would you choose a Cinnabon pizza-like hybrid rather than the real deal? After all, Cinnabon is famous for its sweeter-than-sweet frosted cinnamon rolls, not for Italian-inspired food. In the end, it seems like Cinnabon learned their mistake and ultimately discontinued the Pizzabon. Onion nuggets, McDonald's.
Oh, but careful, there's a ton of onions in them.
Who doesn't love chicken nuggets? They are so tasty and satisfying. But what few people know is that the origins of McDonald's Chicken McNuggets comes from a now long discontinued item on the McD's menu called onion nuggets. It may sound like a joke, but it's not. Back in the 1970s, onion nuggets were created by McDonald's as part of an effort to provide more meat-free options to the growing number of vegetarians in the U.S. It sounded like a good idea.
I agree with you.
But the chairman of McDonald's at the time, Fred Turner, decided to make a change. He wanted to make a big push towards a chicken-based version of the same nugget recipe. Many were skeptical at first, but as everyone knows, the Chicken McNugget became an instant hit in the US and sales soared. Today, McDonald's Chicken McNuggets are almost as famous as the Big Mac. And what happened to onion nuggets, which were the origins of the whole idea? They were abandoned and eventually almost forgotten. Taco Bell seafood salad.
Never ever order seafood in this town.
We don't usually associate Taco Bell with seafood, so how did Taco Bell come up with this idea? No one seems sure, but what we do know is that many fast food chains have tried to enter the Tex-Mex arena. It's the same story over and over again. Some burger chain wants to get in on the growing demand for Tex-Mex food. They try to enter the market with their own version of Tex-Mex and fail. This includes giants like Burger King with the disastrous Whopperito and McDonald's version of fajitas. But what few people know is that back in the 1980s, Tex-Mex giant Taco Bell fell into the same trap themselves when they became jealous of the success of fish-inspired fast food items at chains like McDonald's.
Oh no.
Their response was to release their own seafood salad containing crab, whitefish, and shrimp inside a tortilla bowl. Taco Bell was convinced it would become a massive hit with customers who like to think of themselves as adventurous. They were wrong. So very wrong. As you probably already guessed, the seafood salad did not sell very well. But that was only the start of it. Shortly after its release, many people started complaining the Taco Bell dish gave them severe food poisoning. What an epic fail from the king of tacos. McDLT, McDonald's.
Anything relating to McDonald's is within our purview.
Tomato and lettuce make for great burger toppings, but wouldn't it be better if they remained cold and fresh while your burger patty and bun remained warm and inviting? Most would agree that this is sound logic, but McDonald's solution to this issue in the 1980s was rather strange and confusing. They came up with something called the McDLT that kept the burger and bun in a separate styrofoam compartment from the fresh tomato and lettuce, so that people could put the burger together themselves.
That's new.
But of course, this idea required additional styrofoam packaging, which was more damaging to the environment. By the 1990s, McDonald's faced severe pressure to stop producing the McDLT and decided to discontinue it. This was a good idea, but just bad execution. Nacho Box, KFC.
How'd you guys like those nachos?
What is Kentucky Fried Chicken known for across the world? Of course, it's known for finger-licking fried chicken made with a top-secret recipe that includes 11 herbs and spices. What isn't KFC known for, on the other hand? A lot of things. Among these is Mexican food and Tex-Mex. But back in 2014, KFC in Australia decided to give this popular food category a shot. Enter the Nacho Box. The Nacho Box has three main components. The first and most essential is popcorn chicken, which is bite-sized pieces of breaded and fried chicken, for those of you who don't know. Sounds normal enough, right? Well, here comes the weird Tex-Mex part.
I'm ready.
The popcorn chicken is combined with cheese, salsa, and tortilla chips. No one seems to know who came up with this odd recipe, but it seems that the moment the Nacho Box was released in Australia, people started criticizing it. Why? The first reason is that many customers said the cheese in the Nacho Box was literally rotten and disgusting. KFC apologized for this mistake publicly and promised they would fix it. Overall, there were more than 7,000 complaints on Facebook about the Nacho Box, and online food reviewers went to town making fun of it. One publication even referred to the Nacho Box as potentially being KFC's biggest food fail ever. Ouch! Now that must hurt. McAfrika.
Did you not see the McDonald's?
In 2002, 12 million people in southern Africa were on the brink of starvation as the region was hit with one of the worst famines in decades due to bad harvests and natural disasters. The WHO and the UN rushed to help the families bearing the brunt of this disaster. So what does McDonald's decide to do during this difficult time? They decided to release a new sandwich called the McAfrika. Yes, you heard that right, the McAfrika. The McAfrika was a regular McDonald's burger wrapped in pita bread and allegedly inspired by an African recipe. While the burger sounds good, the optics are bad. But to make matters worse, the burger was released in Norway, which remains one of the top 10 wealthiest countries in the world. How insensitive can you get?
It's so bizarre.
The timing of releasing the McAfrika was seen as cold and became a public image disaster for McDonald's. Doing some damage control, McD's apologized for their mistake. Initially, they said they would consider giving some of the profits generated from selling the McAfrika to famine relief funds. But ultimately, all they did was allow aid organizations to leave donation boxes for the famine victims at outlets in Norway for a short period of time. So, all in all, the McAfrika was a complete disaster. Sicilian lasagna pizza. Pizza Hut.
Pasta, lasagna, meatballs, wherever.
In the last decade or so, many pizza chains have experimented with different takes on this beloved dish that test the limits of what makes a pizza a pizza. Today, there are stuffed pizzas, flatbread pizzas, cheeseburger pizzas, chicken taco pizzas, and even dessert pizzas. The list goes on, and it seems like no new pizza idea could surprise us. But back in 2006, Pizza Hut did just that. They released something called the Sicilian lasagna pizza. The name itself is puzzling. Is it a blissful combination of two of the most loved Italian foods? Or is it a nightmarish abomination that will make you turn against Pizza Hut forever? It depends on who you ask.
You talking to me?
On the most basic level, the Sicilian lasagna pizza is a rectangular pizza with marinara sauce, beef, and both ricotta and Parmesan cheese. Somehow, Pizza Hut was convinced that the shape of the pizza and the ricotta cheese would evoke lasagna vibes. That didn't happen, and there were also two other problems with it. First, it did not taste like either a pizza or lasagna. Second, it was more expensive than a regular pizza. So why choose it over the other menu items at Pizza Hut? Overall, most people weren't that crazy about the Sicilian lasagna pizza, and Pizza Hut stopped making the pizza shortly after it was released. Order up more great videos. Just tap or click and hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to join our notification squad.